What's up, guys? It's your boy Wings of Redemption, and I want to talk about a gloomy subject today, and that subject is death. I was sitting there thinking, man, at what point do you actually start dying? I mean, besides the obvious, if you get in a car wreck or if you have, let's say, a heart attack, which we'll go back to, you can pretty much dictate that you start dying for the fact that when you start living. I mean, that's the simple answer. But let's go into it deeper. At what point does the human body actually quit growing? I admit I've done very little research on this, and I'm going to be speaking off the top of my mind about stuff I've heard or documentaries documentaries. Some reason I always get that word wrong. I mean, it's just a word I've taught myself that I say even though I know it's wrong, and I kind of have to correct myself over time. Like when I was a kid, I used to call them chickaboos, and now I know they're chocobos. But that's a whole different subject. Well, let's say when does a boy stop growing? I'm gonna say you stop growing anywhere between the age 15 and 18. So let's just say 18 for the sake of, just for the sake of argument. I don't know if you stop growing at 18. Hell, you might stop growing at 13. The point is irrelevant. Just putting that out there. All right. So you stop growing at an early age. Is that the point where your body starts to die? Or does it hang there for a while? I mean, I guess to go into this answer, you have to go into like cell research. And I don't really know a lot about cell research, and I bet there's some haters out there be like, for real? Nah. I thought you knew everything about it. I figured you was reading your science book and picking up cow shit. Well, you figured wrong. I don't pick up the science book or pick up cow shit. But cell research. Here is what I know about death with cells. Nothing. I don't know nothing about death of cells. It's just something I've never really looked into. But from being a very, dumb person on the subject, I'd like to point out something that I've noticed. Generally, a person's life is dictated by how well they're needed throughout their life. For example, a butterfly or a fruit fly, or say a trout or a salmon or oyster, they pretty much lay a large number of eggs, some are safe, and die. Their life is very, very short. I mean, but to them, it could seem like a lifetime, like a butterfly fluttering along in the wind. But for other animals such as dolphins, or like a lion or a tiger or a bear, they have to be around a little bit longer because, one, they're not genetically engineered to do the same thing. The bear has to have the cub, has to raise the cub, has to teach it to hunt, got to teach it to heat, and move on. So bears live a little bit longer. Same with dogs. Dogs have a couple litters of puppies, and they usually live anywhere from 7 to 10 years. Humans are the same way, but humans live a little bit longer. Why do humans live a little bit longer? Well, human grows up. He stops growing. It takes him 18 years to grow up. That's one. So a human child has 18 years to grow up as well. So let's say an 18-year-old female has a baby. Let's say 21. So after 18 more years, that baby is ready to move out on its own. But, it has to teach a little bit more. So that 21-year-old female all of a sudden is 46. Well, 46 isn't very old. And humans also have the advantage of, modern medicine and structured society, technology, protection from predators, and pretty much all the lavishes that modern day succeeds us to help us keep us alive. What is the average lifespan of a person? I would be guessing off the top of my head, the average lifespan of a person is somewhere between 60 to 70 years old. It might be higher, but I'm guessing at this point. The reason I'm guessing at this point, most people that I know, they live to about 65. I mean, there's 80 and 90-year-olds out there, but I wouldn't say that are a majority. And that pretty much brings us with the second, one of the things I wanted to talk about. Heart attacks. Heart attacks are something I was thinking about today. I was actually sitting in a drive-thru at the tax place. And yes, there is a drive-thru at the tax place. You pay around here. You could pay property taxes and land taxes and all at the courthouse, and it's a drive-thru. But I was sitting there thinking, man, what would stop that other person from having a heart attack and rolling back onto my vehicle? I would never know anything about it, and there's nothing I could do about it. I don't know how I would react. Would I be mad? Would I be upset? Would I be, concerned about why this person backed into me? I guess it'd be a little bit of everything. But at the end of the day, he lost his life. It's just like that. He could have been healthy. He could have been in shape. And all of a sudden, his heart gives out. So, I'm going to have to pretty much put the cop-out answer here on, what point do we start to die? I mean, logically, 18. After 18... your body starts to destroy itself. It's called entropy. But I'm going to file this under does not give a fuck. But kind of does. Because if you think about it, everybody is worried about death. Death is the one thing that you can't avoid. People say death and taxes, but you can avoid taxes. Hell, Mitt Romney does it exceptionally well. That does not mean I'm a friend of Mitt Romney or a fan of Obama. I don't like either candidate, just to get the political stuff out of the way. But I feel like it should be filed under, doesn't give a fuck. Mainly because it's something I have no control over. I've said this before. I try to keep avoiding myself or putting myself in a position where I have to stress over something I have no control over. I have no control over when I die. I mean, there's things I can do to prevent it. For example, like being aware when I'm driving, eating healthy, doing what's best for my heart, and stuff like that. But in the long run, who's to say something's not going to fall from the sky and crush me? I mean, death is one of those weird things. And speaking of death, I had a really bad day today. It's a horrible day. As you notice, it's probably going to be like 9:30 or 10 o'clock before this video goes up. And I put no videos out today. And one, I had to actually go to traffic court with my brother today. I didn't get a ticket, but, he got a ticket. And we sat in the traffic court. It was really boring. After we got out of traffic court, I drop him off, and I get home, and I get the mail. And in the mail, what do you know? There's a letter from the DMV. I'm like, what the hell is the DMV sending me a letter for? So I open the letter up, and it turns out they're going to be suspending my license. And I'm like, why the fuck are they suspending my license? Keep in mind, I haven't got a speeding ticket in 8 years. And so I pretty much have a clean record, because every 7 years in South Carolina they take whatever 7 years old off of your record completely. So I have no driving infractions on my record whatsoever. So I read on, and it's talking about failure to pay property taxes. And I'm like, bull fucking shit. Well, I paid my motherfucking property taxes. All like Silent Bob and Jay and shit. So I had to go down there again after I just left from the courthouse to basically talk with them about paying property taxes. So I went through the drive-thru, and they said that I'd had to go inside, so I went inside. And basically, when I paid my property taxes 2.5 months ago, the person behind the window forgot to clear it out of the computer. So they were about to suspend my license on something that was already paid for. This is one of the reasons I keep my motherfucking receipts. If I didn't have that receipt, I'd be on the hook again for another 550 big ones. So, yeah, fuck them. But on the way back to paying the property taxes, my truck, they're basically putting new asphalt down on the road that connects to the road I live on, and there was this big truck full of asphalt, in front of me, and it was going through one of those little stopping guards. Like around here we have those stopping guards that says slow and stop on two sides of the handle. I was behind him, and he kicks up two rocks, and they hit my windshield and crack it in two places. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm gonna choke a bitch. Because I was already mad because I thought my license were about to get suspended. Man, that on top of everything else, I mean, it's been a long day. It has. Luckily, my Call of Duty playing sessions have been pretty good. And, I did have a pretty good time today watching the Black Ops 2 gameplay. And I'm really excited for Black Ops 2 now. I mean, watching the pros play the game, there's a couple things that I noticed and I really, really like. I really like the live streaming thing. And I really hope that Call of Duty live streaming will basically do what StarCraft live streaming did. Like, for example, you can save replays in theater and then watch them over again. So let's say there's a good, like, MBS versus, Obey match at MLG whatever. I can very easily take that that MBS versus Obey match and break it down on my channel via the new, Shoutcaster, platform that's built into the game. And it kind of be like Husky StarCraft, but with Call of Duty. So you'll actually have like Call of Duty commentators that pretty much give their take on the game itself. And hopefully this will breed more and more tournaments where teams actually go out there, and this will actually get more teams having a way to make a name for themselves. Because you know what? I don't know anybody on the Game Battles ladder. I don't. Because you know why? Because it's not out there. If people were out there putting replays up of the Game Battles ladder, or teams on the Game Battles ladder versus other good teams, hell, it might make the Call of Duty scene a lot more enjoyable. But I really like that. And I really have another question. I noticed that Select Fire was an attachment. How many people can you put Select Fire on the shotguns? I don't know. It's been your boy Wings of Redemption. If you could please rate this video, it would help me out tremendously. As always, I'm Audi 5000. Peace, pimps.